Hello everyone, I'm Extra Cheesy 87 and this is the Let's Play Danganronpa V3 Part 36. In the previous video, we made more progress into the Chapter 4 class trial, and after, I don't know, about like 45 years, we finally established that the world loops. I don't know why the game took so long, like it painstakingly made that, like dragged that out, even though it seemed like something that, you know, they've already kind of spelled out for us with the evidence, but we finally got that established and we can maybe figure out just who killed Miyu this time.
It vanished into the wall downstream of the river, came out of that same wall upstream.
And I mean, I guess maybe it only seems so obvious to me is because I've played a lot of games that
until it got caught on the rocks.
That have the world loop like that, so I guess maybe if you didn't have that experience, this wouldn't seem so incredibly obvious, so I guess I can kind of understand. I mean, at the end of the day, I suppose it is better to spell it out. Well, I don't know. I guess I got kind of mentioned before as a joke, like really the game can never win with me. I'm at least self-aware of that. Where if it's too hard, I'm like, this game sucks. And if it's too obvious, then I'm like, this game sucks. So, you know, basically I'm just like a big baby, but...
What was the world like before Miyu added the wall?
Actually, there wasn't a wall on the y-axis at all, and the x-axis was set to loop.
Are you serious? Even if it is a computer program, isn't that too crazy?
A looping world. That's more extraordinary than even magic.
But at least it's not a boring answer. It also explains all the things that happened.
I mean, it is kind of a boring answer.
Huh? It doesn't explain everything, does it?
Samugi says something important for the first time in the entire game.
Because we still don't know why we heard that one sound or Kibo's voice.
Okay, well, no, I mean, the sound traveling just makes sense. Now, it's not why we heard that sound, it's what the sound was. That's the question.
Yeah, sound doesn't go past the map loading point.
Come on, Kaito.
Actually, if we know that the world is a loop, we can explain that as well.
Huh? Really?
Yes, but first we need to be clear where the loop starts.
Where the loop starts. Doesn't it loop at the walls next to the mansion and chapel?
I mean, they're right next to each
necessarily.
other.
If we heard a noise at the chapel from inside the mansion, then the loop...
We heard... What's the question? Where is the looping point? I don't really understand what they mean by here. I mean, the looping point would be... What is this question? Oh god, we're gonna run out of time. No, well, no, I don't think it's the chapel, but wouldn't the loop point run through the whole world rather than be confined to one location? Well, yeah.
I was wrong!
Oh, is it maybe it's supposed to be the center piece? Is that what they're getting at? Is that... I can't tell if that's getting bigger. Is it a white outline on a white outline?
There.
Yeah, okay.
The map loading point was where the virtual world looped. We thought the loading point was in the middle of the map. But the loading point was actually at the edges.
Okay. That's interesting, a way to flip. Because, I mean, I was like, I was under the... I knew that, like, okay, they're right next to each other, but I guess in my head, I'm still just thinking of it as, like, a globe on a 2D plane. Like, you know...
So the wall Miyu created wasn't at the edges of the world, but rather... Her wall was at the center of the world.
Because I guess I'm also, like, really used to looping maps like that, or, like, representations of, you know, a globe on a 2D plane, because I've played a lot of grand strategy games where that happens.
I see. So the mansion and chapel were near each other.
Where usually,
with a
you
wall
know,
between them.
Your map isn't a globe, but it's a, you know, a 2D plane.
And any sounds emitted near the chapel would also reach the mansion. The wall only allows non-humans to pass through, so sound should be able to pass through easily.
That's right! That's how the virtual world works!
impressive, Shuichi!
Was it really, though? I mean, it wasn't that impressive. It's kind of...
For you to get this far! Yes! Yes! You are useful indeed!
For you to get this far, what are you, some villain pulling the strings?
Yes, he's... I mean, I'm guessing it's that actually he and Monokuma, like, switched personalities or something so that Monokuma could take part in the game.
Nope. Mew pulled the strings here, not me. Remember? Mew also set this trap.
Or maybe not switch
It all
personalities in
began
the
when
right way,
Mew
but, like,
showed us
switch
the map.
consciousness, I guess? Or something like that?
Because of the map, we mistakenly thought the loading point was at the center. Which in turn made the mansion and chapel seem farther away from each other.
But the structure of the world wasn't actually like that. There was a wall along the y-axis, and the x-axis came around in a loop.
Hey, we spent a lot of time on the animation. We're going to use it at least 4 more times.
By putting that wall in the center of that world, she cut off the loop.
So ever since Mew showed us that map, we were caught in her trap. But we solved this mystery thanks to Shuichi. All hail our savior!
Yeah, if Shuichi wasn't here, then we never would have solved this mystery. That's right. Good work, Shuichi.
But next time you say something, we will try and interrupt you and tell you how you're wrong.
Thanks, Shuichi. You saved us. You're welcome.
Just because we found out the virtual world's secret doesn't mean we can take it easy.
Yeah, that was the easy part.
Actually, this culprit hunt just got to the exciting part. Even if we know all the tricks, it's pretty meaningless if we don't find the culprit. That's how a class trial works, after all!
Kokichi talking like Monokuma again.
I mean, they're really hammering
No matter
home
what
that
you
point,
say,
so I
I'm
mean,
not
I'm
gonna
guessing that's what
believe
it
your
has to
lies.
be.
I'm gonna believe in everyone. That's how I'm gonna reach the truth.
Wrong game, Kaito.
I can't wait to see what happens next!
What is Kokichi's plan here? He's definitely prodding at Kaito on purpose. There's no time for distractions like them. All we have to do here is find the culprit who killed Miyu. Doesn't matter how many little mysteries we solve, if we can't find the culprit, we'll all be for nothing. But I still don't know for sure who it could be. Is this intermission? Who used Miyu's own plan against her to kill her? Who killed Miyu? I guess we could have tried to do this. I mean, the intermissions, I don't know. I feel like anytime I try and push through to get to the intermission, then the game's just like, nah. We're gonna delay them. Every time. Oh man, I'm bushed. I got no motivation at all. Monofi's period is late too. Father, why do you know Monofini's cycle?
And another...
Never mind that. Perhaps this lack of motivation is due to a lack of hibernation. Lack of hibernation? Yeah, I haven't been sleeping well lately, so I haven't been able to hibernate. That's awful. What could be causing it? Because you have a lot on your mind? It's because the graveyard shift pays a better hourly wage?
Really?
Is it because you don't want them to think you're just goofing around? Is it because you want to stay friends? Is it because you want to watch it in real time? Father? He's gone into hibernation. We should let him be. Yeah, you're right. Night-night. Uh-huh.
My head! Monotaro! Pull yourself together!
I feel like I'm forgetting someone important to me, but I just can't. My head hurts so much, I just can't remember.
Can you remember poor fallen Monodam who died for both of your sins?
Have you forgotten? Maybe that's for the best. From this point forward, let's start a new life for ourselves. After all, our baby is excited to meet his daddy, you know?
Daddy? What? I'm gonna be a father?
Please, make them stop.
What a colossal death flag. I'll be surprised if he doesn't die after that.
I mean, that means he has to live, right?
More importantly, let's continue the conversation where we left off.
Which, I mean, of the two, I guess I would rather have Monotaro live.
We understand Mew plotted the murder, but we need to find out who killed her.
And in order to figure that out, we need to understand Mew's actions. So let's discuss her murder scheme step by step.
I know that's important, but hearing you lead the conversation really pisses me off.
Let's see. Mew manipulated the virtual world to use it as part of her murder plan.
Don't just ignore me and start anyway.
If she had succeeded, she would have gone past the wall between the chapel and mansion. And then wham! Murdered me on the roof with the hammer.
She would make the murder seem like it happened in the real world, and then pin it on Kaito.
As for Mew's alibi in the real world, she could say she was locked into the virtual world. And in the virtual world, she could say she was near the chapel the entire time.
She'd make an excuse about how she couldn't reach the mansion because of the fallen bridge.
Whoops, my hand slipped.
She dropped the bridge on purpose so she could separate the chapel from the mansion. Then secretly passed through the wall she installed and took advantage of the loop. After, she headed to where we were supposed to meet at, the mansion's rooftop. Oh yeah, Kaito was probably logged out around that time too.
That's when I saw Mew.
Now, the one problem with this whole plan
because of her murder plans, we don't even know where she was killed.
is, like, why would she assume Kaito wouldn't just instantly log back in and run up to the rooftop? Because, I mean, that's really the one thing that is still kind of a little sketch. The idea that Kaito, you know, went back to his room and went to bed. I don't know. That just, like, I mean, it does seem like it's in Kaito's character, and they were woken up, you know, they never really got to sleep, but I don't know. That is definitely something that I feel like we need to address. I mean, do I think Kaito could have killed her? I mean, maybe.
She was killed on the roof, right? Kokichi told us the roof door was locked and that he couldn't get through.
I mean, I guess I don't really see how it could have happened, considering he never logged back in and we have, you know, the logs to prove that. And if she was killed in the virtual world.
Maybe that when Culprit killed her.
That's probably what happened. The culprit killed her on the locked roof.
Because, I mean, even if, say, Kaito, like, strangled her in real life, while she was in the virtual world, you would think that would leave wounds. That would leave external injuries, so I don't think it could be that.
Did the culprit lock the door to the roof?
Perhaps. I don't think Mew did it. If Mew did lock it, she would have done it when she called Kokichi to the roof. Even if someone came up, I don't believe she would change the target of her plan. She knew that Kokichi would come up later. Locking the door would be suspicious.
Well, it's possible she didn't even think that far ahead.
She was smart, but she was also really, really dumb.
Yeah, I kind of zoned out for a second. Let me revisit this. She was killed on the roof, right? The roof door was locked and that he couldn't get through. That's when the culprit killed her? That's probably what happened. The culprit killed her on the locked roof. The culprit locked the door to get to the roof. I don't think so. I don't think Mew did it.
No say such mean things.
Bro, she
You
was
and
gonna...
Game bad, not Mew.
Bro, no, shut up. I didn't murder anyone. That means I get to be morally righteous about it.
Mew not bad person. Gonta think we could have been friends if things different.
Yeah, you know, if it wasn't for that whole trying to be a murderer thing, yeah, we could have been friends if you just ignore that one major character flaw.
That might have been difficult, even without this killing game.
That wouldn't happen.
Nuh-uh. No way, Jose.
Huh?
Anyway, let's continue the discussion. If Mew was
Moving
killed
on.
on the roof of the mansion, the culprit must have moved Mew's avatar to the chapel after killing her.
Yeah,
right?
that is still something that, I don't know how they would have done that. Because in theory, only Miyu should have been able to go through the wall. And I doubt they could have, like, you know, yeeted her far enough.
So the next thing we should talk about is how they moved her avatar.
I mean, the only person who would maybe have the strength to throw her would be Gonta. I mean, I guess it, I mean, is it possible that it's Gonta? I've never really thought seriously about Gonta being a killer, but it would explain a few. Well, no, because he wouldn't have extra strength in the virtual world. Yeah, no, it couldn't be that. I was thinking, like, I mean, Gonta would have the ability to
actually next to each other.
like chunk Miyu from the schoolhouse or from the mansion to the chapel, and like if she slammed into the chapel wall or something.
But the problem is the wall between them.
Only Mew was able to go through that wall. The culprit wouldn't have been able to.
Then you're saying the culprit sent Mew's avatar through that wall?
Yeah, that's the only way, right?
I have no real way to
How did the
explain
culprit
that.
send Mew's avatar through the wall?
What all evidence do we have again? And there's still this avatar error thing, which we haven't gotten to. You know, maybe the error is because Kokichi isn't actually Kokichi, right? If Kokichi is Monokuma, that could have been what the error was. So then, yeah, maybe if his avatar wasn't set right, he would still have, like, normal strength or extra strength, so then he would have been able to eat her? Maybe?
I mean, it's not like they could have thrown her.
Because there has to be a reason that they, well, I mean, they kind of have already somewhat addressed the idea of everyone having equal strength, which is why, you know, Miyu would have had to been strangled with something else besides bare hands, but I feel like that could still be important.
Gonta, not throw her!
We know. You couldn't because the avatar's physical strength was equalized.
And the fact that they're bringing it back up makes me think it's important. So the error could have been that,
Strength equalized?
or the error could have been that Kokichi's avatar had extra strength.
That problem. Gonta no can protect everyone if that happens.
I mean, I guess we don't necessarily know that it's Kokichi's that was messed up, but, I mean, you know.
Jeez, keep up with us. We're already in the second half of the class trial.
How did they send Mew's avatar to the other side of the wall? Maybe that thing has something to do with it. You know, the loud sound you heard?
Oh, yeah, they could have used, because it's like a slope, right? They could have, like, used that as like a ramp or something to send her sliding? What was it, lattice? Is that not an actual piece of evidence? It's not? Oh, there it is, lattice near the chapel. Okay. Yeah, so I mean, you could have, like, had it slide down the roof, and then you would keep enough momentum to keep her sliding into the chapel. Okay, that makes sense. I mean, I don't know if she would have that much momentum, but I'll buy it.
Because of that sound, you guys went to the side of the chapel. Right, Keyboy? That's when you found the dead Mew there, right? If so, then I think that sound and her avatar being by the chapel are related.
Yeah, there's no doubt in my mind the noise is related to this case. We need to figure out what that sound could have been. I mean, I don't really think it would be able to slide all the way over there, just because the angle of the slope isn't that severe, and even if it was, you know, I don't know, but I'm not going to nitpick that. What was it? It sounded like something slamming hard into something else. So, what were the... And granted, it could be a different explanation, but that's just what makes sense to me. Sound of the lattice hitting the wall. Okay, never mind. The lattice. Do you think a lattice would make such a loud noise? Yeah. I don't think the impact would be loud enough to startle everyone into going outside. What are you talking about? Oh, whatever. That's so dumb.
I think the sound came from Mew's avatar hitting the chapel wall.
Well, those mean the same thing, because that doesn't actually explain how the whatever. That doesn't answer the question really that was asked previously.
But they were too small to make that noise.
Because we're trying to figure out how Mew's body could have gotten over there, saying, "Oh, well, the wall that was her hitting the wall doesn't answer that question."
The only other explanation is that the sound was Mew colliding with a wall.
If that's the case, Mew's avatar must have hit the chapel wall really hard. We felt the impact all the way from the inside of the chapel.
Yeah, that's the real question. Mew's avatar probably hit the chapel's wall with pretty considerable force. But why did it hit the wall with such force? Can you guys figure it out?
Hold on, Kokichi. What's up with the way you're talking? Why are you talking like you know everything?
Let's not worry about that right now. More importantly, we gotta solve the mystery. Fighting among friends is a waste of time.
Friends? Us?
Anyway, can we talk about that after we figure this problem out?
A way of transporting Mew's avatar that would cause it to crash into the chapel.
I mean...
Hey, Shuichi, as your partner, I'll give you a little hint.
You what?
I mean, I kind of already know the answer. I mean, that's the only thing it could be, even though I don't know if that's, like, physically possible.
Since the mansion was on top of a hill, the roof was pretty high up, right?
Okay, yeah, I guess you would maybe have some extra height via that.
Past the brick handrail, the roof was at a pretty steep slope. And the slope faced the chapel wall. On top of that, there was snow on the roof.
I didn't really think about maybe some extra, because I mean, normally it would just be in a second floor, but...
the body. I wonder how they did it.
If they weren't entirely level, if you had some extra height from a hill, maybe. Kokichi is talking as you got the whole thing figured out already. But I can't let him distract me. I need to solve the case. How to make Mew hit the chapel wall. I'm gonna find the answer. Oh god. Okay, so wood lattice, wood down the roof. Something the roof? Obviously it's not that. Something the roof. Fell the roof. Down slope the roof. I tried D. I mean, what other answers are there? S. Slot. Slow. No, slid doesn't work. No, slid would work. Slid the roof? That doesn't really make any sense, like, grammatically, but I think it's, or slid of, no. I mean, do we even have a T? What's the Monokuma one? Is that bad? Oh, it's a hidden Monokuma, okay. Slid, I mean, there's no T's. Slid five. I can't think of what three-letter word it could be. Slid far? Slid for? Slid ran, slid run, slid romp, slid off. Slid off roof? Slid off roof? Okay. I guess that makes sense. Just kind of like a weird way to phrase it, I guess.
I see now.
The culprit used the sloped roof as a slide for Miu's avatar.
Slide?
Nah, man. Even with the slope and the snow, Miu's body wouldn't have slid.
Wrong. It would slide.
But the avatars can generate friction. We wouldn't have been able to walk otherwise. So I doubt that it would have had that much momentum.
Yeah? I mean, at least I'm glad they're
No.
addressing that.
It would slide.
It wouldn't slide, just like Maki Roll said.
I mean, is there something that I'm forgetting? Because, I mean, I assume there is an explanation for it, right? I mean, they're not going to completely ignore the idea, but, is there some aspect of the avatars that wasn't mentioned, or that I've forgotten that was mentioned? Avatars cannot be injured. Is the same as the real world, down to the laws of physics. And let's see what Kokichi's explanation is.
It would slide, just like Shumai said.
Who the hell is Shumai?
Oh, he's a pupil of Ramen Man. Sorry, my hobby slipped in.
Shut up, nerd. I'm positive that's how Miu's avatars moved, but maybe the culprit used something else as well to help her body slide? I mean, the only other things that were used were the only other objects we found were the hammer and the toilet paper. And the cell phone. Something else that would have helped her slide. Toilet paper, sign bridge used as bridge. Oh, we haven't actually established the lattice yet.
Would it slide off that quickly?
Well, duh, it would.
If it made...
Yeah, 'cause he never actually mentioned the lattice. Okay. That's one of those things where it's like I'm getting ahead of myself, I guess.
A lot of speed.
Lots of snow powder on roof. But frozen solid, right?
You'd still slide, though.
Mm-hmm.
In the real world, it might be difficult. But in the virtual world, perhaps not.
Well, no, I mean,
It's not the issue.
Yeah, it's not the issue.
Sliding down snow is easy to do.
If you have something...
You just need a sled or skis to cut the friction.
Yeah.
There was nothing like...
I was worried we were gonna get cock blocked.
No, wait. There was something that could have been used to help slide Miu's body.
I mean, I don't fully know, but I mean, at least they addressed the idea that it doesn't seem like it would have gone down there that way, that fast.
Do you remember the lattice that was found by Miu's avatar?
Like, I don't think it would speed her up that much.
The culprit laid
I guess it depends on like how much higher elevation it is.
On the roof. I did notice the lattice in the storage room when I first looked. But during the investigation, I saw that it was gone.
The lattice that was found next to the chapel is the one that disappeared from the roof? Then that's it. The culprit used the lattice as a sled.
Ding, ding, ding! That's correct! After the culprit killed Miu on the rooftop, they placed her corpse on a sled and slid her down the roof's steep slope.
The sled picked up speed, flew
Would
off
not
the
have
roof,
gone that fast.
glided through the wall only objects could pass through, and hit the chapel.
So, I mean, that would mean that the person who did it would have to also know that Miu could move through without, would have to have knowledge that she changed her body type, right? Or her avatar type. But you really, I mean, still, the only person who could have done it is Kokichi or Gonta. They're the only ones without any alibis. Everyone else was around someone else. I mean, Kaito, but we know Kaito was logged out.
The impact made all of her belongings scatter, including the hammer and cell phone.
Just like that hedgehog who loses all his rings whenever he crashes into stuff.
Never heard of him.
I hate that guy and his worldwide fame and his stupid games, and I hate that hedgehog!
Who would have known Monokuma was just Dr. Eggman the entire time?
Daddy, I'm glad you feel feeling motivated again, but you shouldn't be so hateful. You gotta be an example to our new family.
Yeah, Father. Or should I start calling you Grandfather now?
Now that we know how the body slid down, we're just one step away from the culprit. Well, Shuichi, do you know who the culprit is?
I mean, like I said, it can only be Kokichi or Gonta. That or Miyu killed herself. The culprit.
Yeah. In the end, we'll still need to guess the culprit, huh?
Because Tsumugi was with us. Kibo, Kimiko. Well, Maki. Where was Maki during the whole situation? I can't remember. Was Maki alone? Maki? It could be Maki. I can't remember because that was her whole thing. That she was mad that she was left alone, right? So I mean, I guess it could be her. I mean, all the evidence does still kind of point to Kokichi, but I don't know why he would be sabotaging his own trial. I mean, he's kind of a weirdo, so I mean, I could buy it. Like, it seems in character, plus with the whole Monokuma thing, but it basically comes down to whether or not Maki was with everyone else at the time of the murder. I mean, I believe she was, and she should have had no way to get over to the mansion side. Because if she was on the chapel side, I believe. Actually, does it tell us where Maki was? If she was with the bigger group over there on the chapel? Himiko, Maki, Kibo were searching inside the chapel. Yeah, so they were all together, so I assume at this point one of them would have self-reported and been like, oh, well, so-and-so ran off by themselves. Like, I mean, we have to, until the game tells us otherwise, we have to assume they're with each other the entire time. So really, the only people who were on the mansion side that could have done it are Kaito, Gonta, and Kokichi. Kaito logged out, unless the game's lying to us. He should not have been able to log back in. So that leaves Kokichi and Gonta. Now, it is kind of odd that they've never really... Because, you know, Kokichi and Gonta were supposed to be together, but I guess they split up for some reason? I don't know.
But Gonta can't believe one of us killed Mew.
However, since we know she was killed on the roof, we can narrow down the list of suspects. Meaning, the culprit must be someone who was investigating the mansion. Aside from Mew, the people at the chapel could not go through the wall or cross the river.
So that means the suspects are Kaito, Tsumugi, Shuichi, and Gonta.
Now, it couldn't be Kaito, right? Because it does say she died at 6:30. Yeah, it doesn't say her body was found at 6:30. It says she died. So it's Kokichi or Gonta.
That's real sneaky, leaving yourself off the list.
I mean, Kokichi, I mean, I feel like, I mean, I don't really know if we have any evidence to link Gonta, but it just seems... I feel like it's got to be him, because it can't be Kokichi, right? You know?
Oh, you got me.
I mean, I'm going to try Kokichi first, but then Gonta is my second choice, just logically speaking. 5 suspects, me, or unless or somehow she killed herself. I don't know enough to name the culprit yet, but one of them is suspicious. When we were talking about the rooftop, they clearly lied. For what reason would they have to lie? I need to press them for more information for me. Okay, we don't have to pick just yet? Oh, no, we don't. Okay, we do have to pick, I mean, I guess we start with Kokichi, and then we do Gonta next.
It's you!
Okay.
Kokichi, there's something I need to know.
What do you need to know?
Why did you lie just now?
Which lie are you talking about, Shuichi? I lie a lot, so you'll need to jog my memory.
Fine. I'll expose your lie right now.
Also, I never went to the roof, not even for the meeting. It all began when Miyu showed us the map. That's probably what happened. The culprit killed her on the locked roof. Oh, he wouldn't have known it was locked?
That testimony that bothered me.
he would only know it was locked if he went up there. Maybe? Or no, because no, he mentioned that's why he couldn't have gone. I don't know, man. Okay, so this is kind of interesting. Okay, this is more interesting than just like picking an object. That's probably what happened. The culprit killed her on the locked roof. I mean, that's kind of the thing that jumped out to me, but... Okay, what's the other one up there? Oh no. We've messed up. I mean, granted, they give you so much time that it's not like a big deal, but... It all began when Miu showed the map. What's the other one say? Also, I never went to the roof, not even during the meeting. I'm gonna say the locked thing. Which one? Okay, we just need this one. I know we need these as well. Okay, I knew that. The map? I don't know what's odd about the map, but... Yeah, we might actually run out because I kind of like messed up there, going for the wrong one. Oh no.
I see it! When you were explaining that the door to the roof was locked, you said...
I never went to the roof, not even for the meeting.
But later, you said...
Oh, I guess he would... Wait, the mansion was on top of the hill, the roof was pretty high up? It was a pretty steep slope. I guess he wouldn't have known how steep it was if he hadn't been up there. I mean, I feel like you could tell that from below, but whatever. And the slope faced the chapel wall. On top of that, there was snow on the roof. I mean, you could have seen all that from...
That's a lot of specific information. Stuff you wouldn't know if you hadn't been there.
I don't really buy that. I feel like you could tell all that in general just from being on the bottom level, but... I mean, it is like, you know, he was overly specific, I guess, but...
Oh yeah! Now that you mention it, how did you know all that stuff?
You could probably see the steep slope of the roof from outside the mansion.
Mm-hmm.
But you wouldn't know about the brick handrail unless you went up to the roof yourself.
I guess.
Huh? What?
What's this all about, Kokichi? Did you actually go to the rooftop?
I didn't. I already told you that before.
Why you look so nervous?
I don't know, because he's still fucking with us.
Is this a sincere reaction?
Absolutely not.
But there's no evidence that proves I went to the roof. Wait, I remember now. That thing Himiko said.
Me?
At the start of the class trial, I remember you saying the handrail was made of bricks.
I don't remember if she said that or not, to prove you wrong.
Ooh, you so clumsy, girl. Gotta be more careful there, Himiko.
Oh, does the log go back far enough? Can I prove him wrong?
Is it my fault?
Himiko really say that?
I don't think so.
She totally said that.
No, she didn't!
Yes, she did.
She did not!
She did too.
Then when? Tell me how long ago. In hours, minutes, and seconds.
Well, it was 2 videos ago at the start of the class trial. At 53 minutes in.
Oh, this terrible fighting is bad for the baby.
God, shut up.
Yeah, grandfather. Stop them before your grandkid is born.
I'm not gonna apologize, cause Himiko said it.
So damn stubborn.
How much longer are you going to behave like this?
We don't have time for this. But Kokichi is stubborn. He won't fess up no matter what. He's gonna be this stubborn. It makes you think he has something to hide. I mean, it's like he wants us to pick him, but I still haven't seen any evidence to suggest anyone else. To get him to show his hand, I have to prove he was on the roof. I might not like it, but I have to be aggressive. If I don't get the whole truth, now everyone's lives are in danger. Okay, small bottle of poison, loud noise, corpse, cell phone, Kokichi in the salon. Because the rooftop was locked, he couldn't. Because of that, he returned to the salon and decided to search there. There were no witnesses who could confirm whether or not Kokichi was actually in the salon.
I've had enough of your lies, man!
Any second now.
I'm not lying!
You get done
The
arguing.
rooftop door was locked and I couldn't open it!
Was locked.
So what did Kokichi do?
I turned back at once, of course.
I'm trying to think. Do we have any way to prove
And
that it
stayed
wasn't
in the salon
locked?
the whole time, you know?
Stayed in the salon the whole time.
Wires burn in hell, you know?
And we don't really have a way to disprove that.
You're lying! I'll set your pants on fire!
That's fine because I'm not lying.
Then why do you look so nervous?
Okay, Kokichi is lying for sure, but if he keeps throwing lies at me, I have to fight fire. Oh, so we have to lie?
I didn't go to the roof!
Okay, so we lie and say that, oh, we saw that you weren't in the salon. Alright.
I've had enough of your lies, man!
So we just have to hope Tsumugi doesn't out us?
Lying. The rooftop door
How do I
was
lie
locked and
again?
I couldn't open it!
So what did Kokichi do?
I turned back at once, of course.
And then you have to keep it held down. Bro.
Wires burn in hell, you know?
How did that... I mean, it did kind of miss, but... We missed.
That's fine because I'm not lying.
Then why do you look...
I've had enough of your lies, man!
Bro, I don't know if I trust Tsumugi to not be like, oh, well, you were with you the entire time.
Open it.
So what did Kokichi do?
I turned back at once, of course. And stayed in the salon the whole time, you know?
I'll reveal the truth. Kokichi, you're lying right now, aren't you?
Huh? Lying about what?
Just before the murder occurred, I went to the salon to check on you, but you weren't there.
What? Really?
I waited there for a while. You never showed up.
What's this all about, Kokichi? Didn't you go right back to the salon after finding the roof door locked?
I see. You use underhanded tactics too, huh, Shuichi?
What are you talking about?
So who are you guys gonna believe? Shuichi or me?
Everyone in unison? Shuichi?
Well, of course I'm gonna believe Shuichi.
I believe Shuichi 100%.
The one who's not Kokichi.
100 house points. Oh, no. Himiko points to Shuichi.
Can I refund those?
But to go to the salon, Shuichi
God
agreed to
damn it,
pass by me in
Tsumugi.
the
I knew it
dining
was gonna be her. God.
I wonder why I didn't notice Shuichi there.
How does it feel to be the worst surviving character?
Oh well. I'll believe Shuichi anyway. He's usually right about stuff.
Sorry, but Gonta believes Shuichi too.
I mean, I guess she knows that we're lying and is pretending she doesn't? No.
I see. I wanted at least Gonta to believe me.
What comes around goes around. That's what happens to liars like you.
Why do you guys hate lies that much? There's only one truth, but endless possibilities for lies, you know? And some of them are only white lies, or lies to be kind to people. If you deny all of that just because it's a lie, then that means you guys are just terrible at being lied to. Seriously, the worst!
Just spit it out already. You went to the roof, didn't you?
Isn't that where he met up with Miu?
No, he didn't just meet her there. He probably...
Okay, fine. I'll tell you if you want to know that badly. Consider this my revenge.
Revenge?
You got some balls lying to me. I'm gonna take away your fun for pissing me off, Shuichi. I won't let you do any detective work, or deduction, or mystery solving, or anything.
Okay.
Oh?
Is he? Oh, does that mean he's just gonna outright tell the truth and say he killed her?
So, I'll confess everything. You guys better listen carefully.
Fess!
A confession? So you are the culprit after all.
Well, not necessarily.
I came up with a plan after Mew asked me to meet up with her. She asked me pretty eagerly, too, so I decided to pry some info out of her. She gave me the rundown of the virtual world before she explained it to you guys. As I listened, I realized she was planning a murder. On me, no less. When I investigated the virtual world, I found out that a person can die from shock.
And how'd you find that out?
Without a doubt, she planned to use that for my murder. So that's when I decided to prepare my own crime with her plan. I pretended to cooperate with her and lured everyone into the virtual world. That's also why I worked together with Monokuma.
You worked together with Monokuma?
I guess the jig is up. Yeah, everything he said is true. Kokichi came to me with an idea to make the killing game more interesting. It was such a good idea, I decided to place a motive in the killing game simulator.
You added a motive? Then the secret of the outside world is the motive, right?
No fair! Monokuma can't take sides!
Yeah, he can.
I didn't help him with anything, and I had nothing to do with the murder itself. He merely suggested a way to spice up the killing game, and I accepted. Kokichi and I had a quid pro quo relationship. Technically, that doesn't violate the rules.
Bullshit! No matter how you look at it, you guys are working together.
Shh, calm down. I'll explain my relationship with Monokuma, so let me finish my confession.
I'm fine with that, but you're confessing without much of a fight.
I told you. I'm gonna get in the way by taking away the mystery-solving fun. If I can't win this game, then I'll make it boring for everyone. That's my revenge.
I mean, that is kind of neat, I suppose.
Well then, the culprit is Gonta.
I mean, I don't necessarily disagree right off the bat. He's the only other person it could be.
What? Huh?
Besides Kokichi.
What did you...
Wait! When did Gonta kill Mew?
That's a lie! He didn't kill her! Kokichi's just lying!
Now you're trying to pin things on Gonta?
I mean, I don't necessarily disbelieve him.
Do you really expect us to believe such an obvious lie?
Yeah, there's no way Gonta could commit a murder this complicated. He's not smart.
It's my turn now.
I mean, you have to duel Himiko, not me. You interrupted Himiko, not me. You have to duel her.
The truth is, Gonta and I worked together. We formed a duo to end this killing game. As the Killing Game Busters!
What?
What Busters?
We must win this killing game in order to end this killing game.
What you mean, we?
By the way, I came up with a murder plan, and Gonta carried it out.
Gonta what?
I mean, it is possible that Gonta was manipulated into doing it.
Why
somehow.
are you more surprised by that than the first thing he said?
'Cause Gonta have no idea what he's talking about.
Come on, quit lying and tell us the truth.
Gonta is telling the truth! He's not someone who lies all the time like you!
And no matter how naive Gonta may be, I doubt he would ever team up with Kokichi.
Yeah, not after insect meet and greet incident.
It's obvious what he's trying to do. Gonta doesn't understand the virtual world, so Kokichi's trying to trick him.
I mean, I don't know, man. I still think it could be Gonta.
He's trying to sacrifice Gonta to escape from his crime.
You're a terrible person! How dare you use Gonta like that?
You're right. I'm sorry. I did something horrible to Gonta. I didn't want Shuichi to hog all the glory, so I told everyone the truth.
Cut that out. I told you it's not gonna work.
Don't you think I could have pulled the strings and made Gonta carry out my commands?
I mean, yeah.
It doesn't matter if it's possible or not, because I say it's just impossible.
It does matter. There's no need to bring emotions into class trials. All we need is logical thinking. Right, Shuichi?
What? Gonta not understand what's going on. But still, Gonta not kill Mew. Gonta really not know anything. And also, Gonta not tell lies. And Gonta not make trouble for others. 'Cause that not how gentlemen act. That why Gonta not culprit.
Yeah, Gonta's not lying. I can tell just by looking at him.
Can we, though?
I already used my magic to check. Gonta's definitely not lying.
Then let me ask you guys. If it's not Gonta, then who's the culprit?
Well, they're all gonna say you.
You, of course!
Come on! There's already proof that I couldn't have killed Mew.
There's already proof?
Is there proof?
Oh, did you forget already? Then let me make it clear again. Why I can't be the culprit!
Oh, it's spooky face. Okay, corpse, paper, avatar, Kokichi, and salon. Setting on Kokichi's avatar. Now, that's not necessarily anything in and of itself because of the avatar error, but I assume that's what he's going for?
Didn't I prove that to you guys already? The clue is how Mew is killed.
Mew got strangled to death, right?
Toilet paper was the murder weapon.
Mew would have totally resisted if she was being strangled, right? Then it would have been impossible for someone as weak as me!
Well, no.
You talking about the strength of your virtual avatar? That wouldn't matter if you strangled her from behind.
Okay, no, I don't want to agree. I'm probably going to be disagreeing here.
All she could have done is merely touch the culprit.
Exactly. She couldn't struggle much.
That's all she had to
You
do.
could've kept strangling.
Bro. Bro. Bro.
See,
Bro.
I told you I'm not the culprit.
Bro.
How'd you arrive at that conclusion?
Bro. That should have hit. It was very clearly in the red square.
I'm not the culprit. Didn't I prove that to you guys already? The clue is how Mew was killed. Mew got strangled to death, right? Toilet paper was the murder weapon. Mew would have resisted if she was being strangled, right? That would have been impossible for someone as weak as me. You talking about the strength of your virtual avatar? That wouldn't matter if you strangled her from behind.
In which case, even if she did
Resist.
the most she could have done
Is merely touch the culprit.
Okay.
Exactly. She couldn't struggle much. So you could have kept struggling. That's
Now,
wrong.
I feel like that shouldn't have hit, but it did, so I don't know.
Actually, maybe it wasn't possible for Kokichi to strangle Mew.
Why wasn't it possible?
Mew modified my avatar, so if she attacked me, I wouldn't be able to resist. If Mew touched me, then I'd be unable to move.
But would you have not been able to move?
So I would have had to kill her instantly, such as stabbing or hitting. I couldn't have murdered her by strangulation, because it'd be game over if she touched me.
What?
Well, if you were using the toilet paper, you wouldn't need to touch her directly.
But if you can't be touched while you're wrapping the toilet paper around her neck, then it would be impossible.
Which means, as long as she died from strangulation, it couldn't have been me.
Wait, what if it was something besides strangulation then? Like,
There's no doubt Mew was strangled. We already discussed this.
Kaido is really desperate to make me the culprit. No matter how much you whine about it, you can't change the truth.
So really, I mean, there's only two mysteries remaining, right? Avatar error, which was probably going to have something to do with how Kokichi could have murdered her without, because even if Kokichi isn't the killer, I assume they're going to add some amount of reasonable doubt here with the Avatar error. and then there's just Kaito's account, and whether him going back to his room to sleep is a little weird. That hasn't really been completely addressed within the class trial, which makes me think it might be important. And everything else, I think we've pretty much touched on in some form or fashion.
The culprit who killed Mew is Gonta Gokuhara! This is the truth you all adore so much.
No! Gonta not kill Mew!
I mean, the question is basically just, did Gonta somehow get manipulated into doing it, or is his whole, like, you know, personality a sham? I mean, I think both are possible.
It's true! You gotta believe Gonta! Gonta would never hurt anyone!
I believe you. You've been risking yourself to protect
I mean, I have a feeling it's going to end because since they mentioned a split decision at the start of the trial, that must be like the way it ends, right? Where maybe Kokichi and Gonta both get executed?
There's no way Gonta would kill. He won't even kill Bugs.
Like maybe Kokichi did actually do it, but he's going to somehow get Gonta taken down with him?
I believe Gonta too. I'm not gonna listen to Kokichi's lies.
Of course! Who'd believe a liar like him? He's lying about Gonta being the culprit, so there's no point talking about it.
I don't know about that. If we want the truth, we might have to ask uncomfortable questions.
Right, Shuichi? You think so too, don't you?
Huh? I know how important it is to believe, but as the ultimate detective...
And plus, you know, eventually there's going to be some amount of, like, split decision, right? Because we haven't done our Morpha whatever debate yet, where, you know, people have to split off and decide, so I assume it's going to be, you know, one side is Gonta's the killer, one side's Kokichi's the killer.
I know we can't solve this case with belief alone.
Huh?
It's just that something doesn't add up. I have this feeling something's off. We can't keep going back and forth like this. We need to discuss this.
What, you wanna suspect Gonta?
I mean, no.
Too bad, Kaito. Looks like Shuichi agrees with me.
I mean, Kokichi is my boy more than Gonta's my boy.
No, I'm not trying to...
Oh, the irony! It's all thanks to Kaito that Shuichi got his act together as a detective. And now, Shuichi's intuition as a detective has made him more suspicious of others. Well, can't be helped. That's just what a detective does.
That's not it, Kokichi. I'm just trying to make sure that everyone
Shuichi, Gonta really not do it. Gonta not culprit.
We'll see.
Please,
You know, the truth will prove you innocent or not.
We might as well discuss it.
Yeah.
What?
Cold, hard robot logic.
As a precautionary measure, that's all. I think we need to seriously discuss whether Gonta was capable of committing this crime. Only then can we arrive at a logical decision.
Because, I mean, Gonta hasn't even, like, attempted to provide an alibi during any of the stuff that was going on.
You guys, why don't you get it? That's just what Kokichi wants. He's just trying to split us up. Shuichi, open your eyes!
I mean, it just seems kind of dumb to ignore Gonta, considering he hasn't said, like, anything about what he did during any of the time.
But...
Like, even if Kokichi is the killer.
Truth special.
Okay, now we do
Sorry
our
to ruin this
morph
tense moment,
debate.
but you guys seem pretty evenly split right now.
I can't remember what it's actually called. I know I've been jokingly calling it morphogenetic field, but, it's morph something.
The Ultimate
Morph
Academy
phenomenal.
is proud to present its very own Morph Phenomenal Trial Grounds!
So we're gonna do that again?
Shuichi, why? Why don't you understand? You're my sidekick, aren't you?
Kaito...
Of course I want to believe Gonta. I don't want to think that he killed someone. But as the ultimate detective, I can't turn away from the truth. I need to find the truth. I mean, if we killed Kaede, we gotta kill Gonta. I'm sorry. Them the breaks. We've already seen that several times, so... Could Gonta have committed the crime? It's impossible? I mean, you know, maybe.
Shuichi, are you saying that Gonta is the culprit?
Culprit.
I can't say for sure he's the culprit. I'm saying we can't rule it out.
The beginning's like definitely the hardest part.
Sweetheart, he wouldn't hurt a fly.
Sweetheart.
Don't you realize these so-called sweethearts can commit crimes too?
Yeah.
Could Gonta have even made it to the rooftop without
Kibo! The entrance hall is all that separates the rooftop from the mansion exterior.
There should have been witnesses at the entrance hall.
I got
Wrong.
this.
We weren't
No,
paying attention.
None of us were in charge of the entrance hall.
But Kokichi confessed he was working with
Kibo!
I do like
That
this.
is
This is
impossible,
maybe one of my
because
like
Kokichi's
favorite
avatar
mini
had
games.
special settings.
Is that you don't have to think so fast.
It's
Wait,
all a
what?
lie. Kokichi is
Kibo!
That is
Never mind, I
impossible,
hate it.
Because
It's
Kokichi's
bad and I hate
avatar
it.
had special settings.
Gonta not kill Mew!
I got this. The
So wait,
truth
Monokuma-
is,
I didn't even-
Gonta could have murdered you.
I mean, we haven't really been using our focus here,
But
which I probably
Kokichi
should.
confessed he was working with Monokuma.
Okay, we aren't consistent. Our position looks weak. We have to work together. We have to face the truth even if we don't want to.
Shuichi, are you saying that Gonta is the culprit?
I got this. I can't say for sure he's the culprit.
Okay, so we
I'm
know
saying
we can see what they
can't rule
are
it out.
from here.
Gonta is such a sweetheart.
Where's Sweetheart?
He wouldn't hurt a fly.
Kokichi!
Don't you realize
want
these so-called
Monokuma for the
sweethearts
other
can
one?
commit crimes too?
Could Gonta have even made it to
Kibo!
The entrance hall is all that separates the
Rooftop. from the
Kibo,
mansion
use rooftop
exterior.
attack.
There should have been witnesses.
I got this.
Suichi
No,
hit him with the
none
entrance
of us
hall?
were in charge.
to the entrance hall.
But Kokichi confessed he...
Kokichi! I did cooperate with Monokuma, but only on a temporary basis.
It's all a lie.
Kibo!
That is impossible.
Because Kokichi's avatar has special settings.
Oh, remember, you gotta mash here.
The truth is,
And X is not
Gonta
X. X
could
is
have
not
murdered
X. X
Mew.
is not X.
This is our answer!
And look at old Kibo sticking up for Kokichi, kinda.
In my opinion, as long
Kinda
as it
surprising.
is possible that Gonta is the culprit, we have to discuss it.
That's ridiculous. You're going to believe Kokichi over Gonta?
I mean, not necessarily. I just think it's kind of dumb to completely ignore Gonta.
That's not it at all. I just want the truth. If we're going to survive, I have to find the truth.
But Gonta telling truth. Gonta really not culprit.
Well, just tell us what you were doing, dude.
I still don't think Gonta's lying.
But didn't I tell you guys already? If you're planning to expose a liar, then you have to corner them psychologically. Only then will they reveal their true self as a liar, hiding beneath a layer of deceit. That's why it hurts my heart to persecute Gonta like this!
I mean, persecute. Let's not use that word.
Gonta, if you understand, then do it right. Make logical arguments for the truth.
Logical arguments?
It means use your head to make arguments.
Use head?
What I'm trying to say is, if you aren't the culprit, then you gotta prove that you aren't!
But Gonta really not know.
I'm sick of hearing you say you don't know! God, why are you so dumb?
Gonta just want to help everyone, like true gentlemen.
You're a true gentleman? More like a true nincompoop!
Hey! Now that's just bullying.
Yeah, there's no reason to use the N-word like that.
Bullying? Yeah, so what? That's what you do in this game, right? You guys blame and gang up on me, but now you're gonna pretend to be good people?
No, I never ganged up.
Gonta, argue back already! Just make an excuse or whatever!
Stop it! That's enough!
Stop what? You mean stop the game?
I will say, the first half of this trial was, like, pretty boring, but the second half is actually quite interesting.
Hey, do you even know what you're saying?
Yeah, I know. What about it? I don't want to survive if it means I have to stoop to your level.
No, I'm fine with that.
Oh, that's a low blow right there. Then just die in a hole for all I care! We want to live, so stop getting in our way!
I mean, I think basically everything's on the table as long as it's not murder.
Quit it. If you don't shut your mouth, then I'll shut it for you. Permanently.
Maki, please, calm down.
Sorry. It Gonta's fault everyone's so upset. But Gonta telling truth. Gonta really not culprit. 'Cause Gonta not know anything! Really!
Like, why don't they just ask him, what were you doing after Kokichi left?
Cut it out already! That's all you've been saying this whole time!
Like, why does nobody just ask Gonta, hey, you know, calm him down, ask some questions?
Cut it out.
Wait, what did Kokichi say? What did he say? That's all you've been saying this whole time? All you've been saying this whole time. That's true about Gonta. The whole time, Gonta's been saying he doesn't know anything. Yeah, even from the beginning. Gonta don't understand either. Miu like this when Gonta wake up. I mean, Gonta doesn't really know what the virtual world is. Like, he didn't seem to understand it. Gonta was sleeping too, had strange dream. Gonta not understand anything. So, I mean, it's possible that, you know, he thought it was a dream, him killing Miu. Therefore, he didn't actually do it for real or something. Gonta not know. Murder already happened when Gonta wake up. But why this happened? Why Miu killed? Gonta not understand. Nah, Gonta not understand anything. Because Gonta have no idea what he's talking about. But when exactly did he start using that defense? After logging out of the virtual world.
That's it!
That's it. It was after he logged out. That means...
Did Gonta get into an accident in the virtual world?
Accident?
The accident that hurt Gonta, that was... the loud noise? Device instructions? Oh, the, I mean, I guess this is the only thing we have left, so avatar error?
This is it! When we logged into the virtual world, an avatar user error occurred.
Some sort of avatar user error occurred when you all logged in for the first time. An error? The contents of the error are unknown, so I can't provide any details. So could it be that, like Gonta's avatar was overridden by someone else, and so the Gonta in the virtual world wasn't Gonta? Something strange definitely happened to someone's avatar when you all logged in. Like, I mean, it could have been that... Then the question is, like, okay, so let's just say for the argument, like, Kokichi was in Gonta's body? Then who would have been in Kokichi's body? I mean, I guess Gonta, but Kokichi was acting not like Gonta. I don't know.
An avatar user error? Ever since Gonta logged out, he's been saying, I don't know, I don't understand.
That's because Gonta doesn't understand the virtual world, right?
That's what I thought at first, but I think it's because of the error.
What you mean?
That error was what's affecting Gonta. It's making him forgetful and loopy. What was the error? What could it have been? So it could be that he just, like, literally doesn't remember killing Miu? So it's possible he was tricked into maybe amnesia. Is A an option? Memory loss? Yeah, memory loss, okay. The first one that actually kind of makes sense. Like right off the bat. Any L's around here? Any S's? Any S's wanna come party? Was this an S? I think it was. By God, he's good.
I believe it's possible that Gonta doesn't remember what happened in the virtual world.
Huh? He doesn't remember?
You started saying, I don't know anything, after leaving the virtual world. I think that's the result of some kind of memory error.
Oh, that's why he doesn't remember anything that happened in the virtual world. Not even killing Miu.
What?
That's ridiculous! Quit screwing
I
around!
mean, that still doesn't really explain, like, why he would do it.
Yeah, it's absolutely ridiculous.
And, I mean, still, the murder does require information that Gonta wouldn't have had access to, you know, sliding the body down and all that.
What do you mean he doesn't remember?
Using toilet
He's
paper
just confused.
as the murder weapon. I mean, I guess technically, but Gonta would have not really had time to plan that in advance.
Gonta told us he was bad with computers, remember?
Memory or no memory, Gonta never hurt anyone!
No way Gonta's the culprit!
Hey, we haven't done this yet. I forgot. Forgot about this mechanic. We actually should stop.
Gonta never hurt anyone!
I guess we'll try and do this and then we'll stop.
Gonta wants to keep everyone safe!
Anything about the virtual world?
You did it, but you don't remember doing it, right?
Gonta would never kill a friend.
If there was a glitch, it's just...
Protect friends. Protect friends. Protect friends.
It should have affected all of us.
Mew's avatar. Avatars cannot be injured. Doesn't look any different from when Mew was alive.
Your lies aren't protecting anyone.
But because we're all okay...
Gonta not lying!
Gonta not lying. There was no glitch.
Please believe Gonta!
I mean, I know it sounds crazy, but it's no wonder it's hard to believe. This is the truth.
Gonta never hurt anyone!
I mean, we know there was a glitch. I mean, Avatar here should, I guess.
Doesn't remember
Gonta
a
wants
thing
to
about
keep
the
everyone
virtual
safe!
world.
You did it, but you
Gonta
don't
would
remember
never
doing
kill
it,
a
right?
friend.
If there was a glitch,
It's gentlemen, protect
it should have
friends!
affected all of us.
Your lies aren't protecting anyone.
Okay.
Because we're all okay...
Gonta not lying!
That
And
means
then
there was a
Gonta
glitch.
gets really mad.
Please believe Gonta!
Really? That doesn't work? Gonta was just confused. I don't care if you're a detective. I'll never accept this.
Damn it.
I mean, we know there was an error. Device instructions? Oh. Okay. So it could be that just Gonta messed up. Honestly, I didn't know that was a truth bullet.
Everyone safe!
You did it, but you don't remember doing it, right?
Should have affected all of us.
Your lies aren't protecting anyone.
But because we're all
Okay.
okay...
Gonta not lying!
That means there was no
Gonta!
I heard it!
He heard it. By God, he's heard it.
The cause of the error that affected Gonta's avatar.
Alright, I think we'll stop here. Next time, we'll try and push through and finish the class trial. Which we should be able to do. Maybe. Oh, we've completed our second loop. Or I guess really, it's our first? But no, it's our second loop. Yeah. That wording makes sense. But alright, next time we will try and finish chapter 4. I'm Extra Cheesy 87. Stay tuned for the next part. And bye, guys.